Ever wondered how rugby is played? Well, you're not alone. Rugby, a thrilling sport that combines strength, strategy, and teamwork, has been captivating audiences since its birth in the early 19th century in England. Today, it's a global phenomenon, played and watched by millions around the world. Now let's get down to the nitty-gritty. The objective of rugby? Simple. Outscore your opponent within an 80-minute game. But don't be tricked by this seemingly straightforward goal. The journey to those points is where the real excitement lies. With a blend of running, passing, kicking, and tackling, rugby is a game that keeps you on the edge of your seat, your heart pounding with each play. And while the rules may seem daunting at first, remember that every expert was once a beginner. So let's embark on this journey together. Now that we know what rugby is, let's dive into the specifics of how it's played. All right, so how does a rugby game start? Well, like many other sports, it all begins with a kickoff. One team gets the ball rolling, or should we say flying, by kicking it from the center of the halfway line. The ball must travel at least 10 meters forward into the opposition's half. But remember, the game of rugby is full of surprises, and the kickoff is just the beginning of the thrilling journey. Now let's talk about passing the ball. In rugby, you can't just toss the ball any which way you fancy. Nope. The ball can only be passed laterally or backwards. That's right, you heard me. Forwards isn't an option here. This rule adds a whole new layer of strategy and skill to the game. It's like playing chess on a grass field with a bit more mud and sweat. Now imagine you've made it past all the opposition, you're in their half, and the try line is in sight. You might be wondering, what's a try? Well, a try is the primary way of scoring in rugby. It's when a player grounds the ball in the opposition's in-goal area between the try line and dead ball line. It's like a touchdown in football, but with a twist. This scores 5 points and gives that team the right to attempt a conversion. A conversion, you ask? Well, after scoring a try, the team is awarded a chance to kick the ball between the posts and over the crossbar from a point in line with where the try was scored. This can add an extra 2 points to the team's score. It's like the cherry on top of the cake, or should I say, the extra kick in the game. Remember, rugby is a game of strategy, skill, and strength. It's not just about running and throwing, it's about thinking, planning, and executing. Now that we've covered some basics, let's move on to some of the more specific rules. Rugby isn't just about running and passing the ball, there's more to it than meets the eye. The game is a complex dance of strategy and power, woven together with detailed rules that govern how it's played. Let's start with the tackle. If you're carrying the ball and an opponent wraps their arms around you and brings you to the ground, you've been tackled. Once this happens, you must release the ball, but the game doesn't stop there. This is where the ruck comes into play. A ruck is formed around the ball on the ground. Here, players from each team must use their feet to try and win possession of the ball. A maul, on the other hand, is a bit like a ruck, but it happens off the ground. The ball carrier is held up and one or more players from each team gather around them, pushing against each other in a contest of strength and determination. Next, we have the scrum. This is a method of restarting play that involves players packing together with their heads down and attempting to gain possession of the ball. It's a true test of a team's power and technique. A line-out is another way to restart play. It involves players from each team lining up a meter apart while the ball is thrown down the middle. Players then jump to catch the ball or knock it back to their team. Now let's talk penalties. They can significantly impact the game. Penalties are awarded for various infractions such as offside, not releasing the ball after a tackle, or obstruction. The team awarded the penalty has several options. They can kick for goal, tap and run, kick for touch, or have a scrum. The decision often depends on the position on the field and the state of the game. With these rules in mind, the game becomes a strategic battle of wit and strength. So the next time you watch or play rugby, you'll have a deeper understanding of the intricacies that make this game the thrilling spectacle it is. Each player in a rugby team has a specific role to play. Let's talk about that. In the fascinating world of rugby, there are 15 positions divided into 2 main categories, forwards and backs. The forwards, positions 1 through 8, are the heavy lifters, the powerhouses. They pack into scrums, win line-outs, and are often the first on the scene in rucks and mauls. The backs, positions 9 through 15, are the agile and quick players. They're the ones who make the flashy runs and kick goals. Let's break it down further. The forwards consist of the front row, which includes 2 props and a hooker. Their job? To provide stability in the scrum and secure possession of the ball. The second row, or locks, are the tall guys who win ball in lineouts and add power to the scrum. The back row, which includes the two flankers and the number 8, are the team's workhorses. They make tackles, carry the ball, and support the backs in attack. The backs are where the speed and flair come into play. This group includes the scrum half, fly half, centers, wingers, and fullback. The scrum half links the forwards and the backs, while the fly half is the main decision-maker and often the team's primary kicker. The centers are versatile, able to use strength to break through defenses and speed to exploit gaps. The wingers are usually the fastest players, and their main role is to finish off moves and score tries. The fullback is the team's last line of defense, but also a potent attacker. Tactics in rugby vary widely, but they often revolve around using the forwards to gain territory and create space for the backs to exploit. Teams may use a variety of tactics, such as kicking for territory, using set plays to create mismatches, or employing a fast, wide game to tire out the opposition. Understanding the roles and tactics can make watching and playing rugby even more exciting. And remember, rugby is a game where everyone, no matter their size or skill set, has a role to play. So let's get out there and give it a try. Rugby can be a rough sport, so let's talk about the equipment used and safety measures. Firstly, the rugby ball. It's larger than a football and has a distinctive oval shape. This design helps the ball to be kicked and carried easily. Boots are another essential piece of kit. They are designed to provide players with grip on the pitch and protect their feet during the game. But what about the protective gear? Rugby players wear minimal padding. However, some essential safety equipment includes mouth guards to protect the teeth and gums during tackles and scrum caps to help prevent any head injuries. Pads are also worn on the shoulders, chest, and back to provide some protection during contact. And let's not forget the importance of a good quality pair of shorts and a jersey. They need to be durable to withstand the pulls and tugs that are part and parcel of the game. Rugby is a physical game, and safety is paramount. Players need to be aware of the risks and play responsibly. Correct tackling and rucking techniques are crucial to prevent injuries. Regular training and physical conditioning can also go a long way in ensuring safety on the rugby pitch. Lastly, respect for the referee's decisions and for fellow players is an integral part of the game. It's not just about winning, but about playing the game in the right spirit. With the right equipment and safety measures, rugby can be a thrilling and safe sport to play. So there you have it, that's rugby in a nutshell. We've journeyed through a territory marked by passion, strategy, and sheer physical prowess. A territory where the objective is simple yet complex: to carry, kick, or pass the ball over the end line and score a try. We've learned that rugby is a game of rules, a game where forwards and backs each have their roles, where scrums and lineouts are more than just a tangle of bodies, but a tactical display of strength and wit. We've seen how a team can be penalized for forward passes, offsides, or not releasing the ball when required. We've delved into the diverse positions on the field, each with its own unique responsibilities. From the speed and agility of the backs to the brute strength of the forwards, we've seen how each player contributes to the overall team strategy. We've also explored the importance of proper equipment and safety. We've seen how helmets, mouth guards, and shoulder pads are not just accessories but essential tools for player protection. And let's not forget the importance of respect for the referee, for your teammates, and for your opponents. This is a game that values sportsmanship as much as it does scoring points. Next time you watch or play rugby, you'll be a step ahead with this knowledge. Remember, rugby is not just a game, it's a lifestyle.